right. Hello. And so I titled this Black Women Have to Get Back to Pure Consciousness. Now I've been doing a little series on the Sibyls, and that is mostly because we are back in the cycle one, which is Nubia. But also I want to tell a different story of Black women, Africans, especially Black American women, to know, because it seems like, from what I see mostly, Black women can seem to only identify with slavery because that is the narrative that's constantly being told. And then when you told about any other history besides slavery, is it doesn't it's dealing with the pharaohs. It doesn't go back very far. It doesn't go back to where, and I don't like to say go back far, because really there is no time. Like I said, time is something that was put in place by certain individuals who took over the planet and made it a prison planet. Okay, but a lot of these individuals, you never know what they operated on. They probably didn't even operate on time. Okay, that's another thing. A lot of these people, we call them ancient, but they probably didn't even operate on time. And that's why I want to get back into talk about this pure consciousness. Okay, and the reason why I talk about the Sibyls, even though they're like, I want to say like maybe 7th, 10th generation of the matriarchs. So they weren't the first. This is just the book that I have, and I wanted to share it. But they aren't the first. It's some that date back before them. But make no mistake, these are very dark-skinned women. And I do want, especially Black Americans, Black American women, to kind of see themselves in a different light than being somebody who suffered under oppression, or being somebody just kind of stuck in this society. But really, when you get into pure consciousness, you're not stuck anywhere. It's an external world. And so here's what I mean by pure consciousness. Okay, so right now, we know, not all of us, but the external world is an illusion. Okay. The holographic world is said to be made up of mathematical equations. And so what I mean by pure consciousness, even though I give you these stories, is to help to rewire the mind into seeing something different of yourself. Like I said, a lot of these women who are considered to be ancient, but probably didn't even operate on time, they were closer to pure consciousness. Now, the fall of matriarchy, this part, the part I read about the Sibyls and the fall, probably took place after there was a disruption between Black women, because make no mistake about it, the break in the sisterhood, there was a break in the sisterhood before anybody else was involved. And I want to get to those stories to tell about that too. But those, they were close to pure consciousness, not operating on time, not working 9 to 5s to make money, not constant worry, not constant fear. That was the closest to pure consciousness. But pure consciousness, as I speak of now, is releasing an attachment to this external world, which is something that is not easy. I'm working on it myself. So it's not easy when this is all you know, but you're basically inside of a video game. See yourself as being inside of a video game, and something else is controlling this character, like Mario Brothers. You're the character of Mario in Mario Brothers, and the person with the controller is basically guiding everything. And that is your true self. The one with the controller is your truest divine self. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people might not resonate with this message because there's different beliefs, and that's fine. If there are different beliefs, there's other channels for that. Because I'm not going to be scatterbrained on my practices. Like, for example, if I'm a Muslim and I want to speak on Allah, well, people create channels to speak on Allah. People create channels to speak on Christianity. So at this point, I'm fine with people having a difference of opinion, but what I say is what I have to say. And there's millions of other channels that talk about those other subjects if that's what people want to hear. And this is not me getting upset with anybody, because now that I work daily on pure consciousness, and I realize everything is an illusion anyway. So even when I talk to you, I'm talking to myself. All of it is just it's nothingness. It's really nothing. Okay, there really is nothing. Reality is an illusion. Okay, and we play it. We're playing a part, a character within this video game. My government name is a fictitious name, and I'm a character inside of this video game. And so I have to learn to see myself as that character of Mario Brothers. And the one with the controller is my truest self. Okay, that's my divine self. And that is what I'm working daily on getting back to. And it's not easy when you spend so many years of your life, especially when you're getting older. Especially when you get older, it's just hard to imagine. And sometimes when you're too old, you don't even want to try. But I'm working on getting back to that pure consciousness. That's like that 0 point, that godhood. And so I'm getting back to that, letting go of the attachment. It's not to say that I'm never going to pay attention, but for so long, you get caught up in this external world with time, with appointments, with working, with children, that it becomes so real to you. And it's all a game. And like I said, if this does not resonate with you, then there are millions of channels that will. But I cannot change content because there's so many different energies or entities that will listen to this message and disagree. And I can't change my message in 50 million different ways to suit 50 million different people. It's no way I can do it. But like I said, so see yourself as that character of Mario and Mario Brothers, and see that this is all a game, and to work on getting back to that pure consciousness, which is that controller, getting back to the source. It's source meditation, source, getting back to source, okay? And like I said, now, although I tell the stories, and I started off with talking about this series on the symbols, is because I don't want to give two different messages. I do my series on the symbols because it's time to rewire that brain out of oppression. Get out of oppression. Get out of seeing yourself as somebody who was just in slavery, or your ancestors was in slavery, or talking about racism and white supremacy as if they were the first people on the planet. So I'm saying that to get out of that. And it's the story of Black women go back so much further than those symbols. It goes back so much further than those symbols. And I'm telling you, somebody brought up India in a comment. I'm in India right now. India is the mother of spirituality. A lot of the deities come from Black women divinities, okay? A lot of them that could have been, that are kind of whitewashed, came from Black women divinities. But here's what I have to say about India. There are so many Indians here that are black as a boot. They are very, very dark skinned, okay? So that lets me know that Black women were all over the place, and their hair textures were different. It wasn't always coily, their hair, but a lot of them have some of them guys have some kinky hair. But what they show you on media are these light-skinned ones. But when I go around, so I'm in South India, everywhere I go, I see a lot of dark skinned ones. Okay. So that's telling me that black women were all over the place. And so I don't want to just reduce black women to Africa. That's another thing that I want to probably put up new videos to rewire our brains from, is just thinking about Africa, Egypt, and Kemet. Black women were all over the place because Earth was just like Mars. Okay, Mars is said to be a black planet. That's what Earth was before it became colonized. So I don't want to reduce black women to Africa or ancient Kemet or Nubia. Black women were all over the place. And you ever come to India and look at these people, they are so dark skinned. They are like the crayon black. Okay? Their hair texture is a little different, but their skin complexion, I mean, they are very dark skinned. A lot of them are very, very dark skinned. Okay. So with that being said, I want to get back to pure consciousness. Yeah. So pure consciousness, yeah, that's the goal that I really want to take black women back to, is pure consciousness. But every now and then I do tell these stories to get your mind off of seeing yourself as somebody who are descendants of some slaves, or somebody who, or the stories that these hoteps want to tell about Kemet, keep wanting to raise themselves as supreme. And so that's why I do these stories, because it's just time to see yourselves in a different light. But the ultimate goal is to get back to that pure consciousness. That's that nothingness. That's taking yourself, disassociating yourself from the external world, that there's another controller in the background that's controlling all of this, and that is source. That is your higher self, and that is the goal right there, is to become more source than this fictitious character, to disassociate with that identity, because it's a false, it's a fake, it's something that's created like a character in a movie or a video game. One guy said that it was a man before this world became a hologram, because like I said, different entities took over. So before this world actually became a hologram, because Earth was knocked out of place. That's why I say those women, black women of antiquity, was around a period or a cycle before the Earth was knocked out of place, and it was not a hologram. Okay, but right now we're dealing with the hologram. Okay. That's something more to dive deep into, to understand and explore. And I want to explore some of that more on this channel, to take our mind out of, well, my mind is not really on Black American or America, because I'm not there. But I realize my audience majority is still, in the United States of America. But yes, I tell these to get your mind out of that particular reality, and to get closer to pure consciousness. That's just the bottom line. And with that being said, I hope I explained that well. I hope I explained that well with pure consciousness and the external world. And like I said, I'm still learning more. So you guys can chip in if you understand, if you understand the external world as being a controlled hallucination. Not just a hallucination, but a controlled one, where people get together and they think everything they see is real, because it's a belief in that same thing, But, you guys who resonate with that message can let me know your thoughts on this. And those who this message don't resonate with, just it's fine. It's so many different channels that talk about what you believe in. And that's perfectly fine with me. Okay. But with that being said, I'll talk to you soon.